I'm waiting to communicate, and I have to tell you that I'm pulled to the male. I had mentioned to you that I feel like there's this female, and she's speaking to me, and I will figure that out down the road. But she keeps pulling me to the male, okay? And so this is a younger male to you, and there's lots of love around this, okay? So this is, and I'm pulled to him, and I'm pulled to his quick passing. It's as if he wants you to know that he's okay. You know, it's me, I'm still here, I made it, I'm okay. I really made it, okay? So it feels like there's question around all of this, you know, how he is, what exactly happened, why it happened, and how he's doing, okay? And so he's just showing all these questions, and he's saying, I'm here, I'm okay, I'm here. He takes me to his time of passing and shows me quite a scene of shock and chaos, and how many people this really hurt, that he didn't intend to hurt, okay? But where I want to take this is that, and I want to throw out there too, before I forget, there is a name Chris that comes up, okay? So if that doesn't fit, it's okay, but Can you connect the month of September at all to him? Okay, because I'm asking him to validate himself to me. And it's taking a little time, but we're going to get there, okay? I feel him, I feel his love for you, I feel how much he wants you to know he's okay, and he's been around you, okay? He's really around you. His abrupt passing has really changed your world, and he knows that. He knows this, okay? I feel him, he's all over me. The process is just going to be a little slow, but we're getting there, okay? I have to tell you that he comes through full of life. He's funny, and I'm sitting here quietly, and I'm trying to be respectful, but he's making me laugh, okay? And he's showing me outdoors. And so I don't know if he's pulled to outdoors, or if he likes camping, or being out in the trees and being outdoors, but he's showing me this, okay? And then he's showing me to and I don't know if this fits well, but a medium-sized dog, okay? And he's showing me this dog, and I don't know why, but I'm just getting the sense of being outdoors, being around nature, okay? And I know this is jumping around. He knows how unexpected this was. He didn't know. Things he wants you to know. Does it make any sense to you? He's saying accident to me, left and right. Does that make any sense to you right now? Okay. I feel like there's question, if there's any question about it, he keeps saying accident, that this was an accident, okay? I know eventually he wants to get around this, but he keeps pulling me to his time of passing, okay? So now he's understanding that this was his time, but he's making it clear to me that when he was here, he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to go, okay? He would not have left you, okay? So this is definitely unexpected to him as well. I have to say that, okay? He's pulling me away from this now. He's pulling me away, and he's asking me, really trying to communicate with you and talk to you in dreams. This is going to jump in a little bit, and then I'll definitely, this is about you, okay? So I definitely want you to jump in at any point in time and ask whatever you want to ask, or lead me wherever you want me to go with this, okay? Because we can try and do that with him. But right now, he's just jumping around a little, and I want to put out there everything that comes up, okay? And even if we can't make sense of it right now, but he's showing me his, what I feel is his home base. And are you still connected to this home? He's showing me this coming and going. I don't know how to make words of this, but I'm feeling like you're still there, you still visit there, you still have a part of his home.
Yes.
Okay. Because he's letting me know that he gives you signs in the home. Okay? He's letting you know that he's around. He's giving you signs. And let me give him some. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, so he's telling me to please pay attention because there are times when you can actually just feel him, like you may think someone's in the house and they're not, okay? Or you can feel him around you, and that is him. Whether if you hear something that sounds like footsteps or someone, or you just get a sense of someone coming up behind you, that is him. He is also, he is, in a few other ways. He's also telling me that he'll touch you, even when you're sleeping, he'll touch your feet. I don't know if you'd be aware of that, but what I want to point out to you is that he is, okay. Please pay attention to anything electrical that is going on. If you come into a room and the light dims and comes back on, or if you're speaking about him or mentioning his name and something happens where the TV changes or the lights change, something happens around electricity, it seems like he can really work this right now, okay? He can really work with electricity in order to give you signs. And were you away from him? I'm getting this sense of, was he either away from you, out of town, out of the area? Was there some distance there? When he had passed, was there a distance there?
No.
Not at all. Okay. Okay.
I was right there.
And you're right there. Okay. I'll do this come on really strong, and then kind of fade a little bit, and then come on again really strong. So I'm just talking to him, okay? And I'm just telling him, let me know when you can. Let's validate yourself, you know? And just inviting him to keep talking. And so, so this will all come together for you. And it is. There's, okay, so, you know, I'm just going to talk a little bit while I'm waiting to feel them all around me again. And I will. There's this real love connection with you two, you know, and it feels like he hasn't, I mean, he just hasn't left you. He hasn't left you. But I have to tell you, this feels really recent to me, okay? It feels really recent, and I'm wondering if it's in the last couple of months, 2-3 months or so. But it feels recent. So this wasn't you, I know, but if there was anyone who felt like they felt like they wanted to be there with him that couldn't be, that it's okay. I don't know if there is, but there's still this sense of a distance. And so I know that you said you were right there with him, so I know it's not you, but there's some sense of a distance and not being able to reach him, okay? So if anyone feels like, you know, that they feel like they've missed that opportunity, he's still very much around. He's okay, he's fine. Does 17 mean anything to you? 17 or the 17th of a month? That's okay. It's just... map. I know, I'm sorry, I'm holding your hair back.
No,
so
no.
much. He showed me a map and kind of marking all these different areas. So did he either do some travel or did he want to travel? I know this sounds kind of funny, but there's some connection to this. Hold on one second. There's some connection to this. Over a few things. I just want to ask you a few things. What I'm trying to do is, I feel like I'm getting little bits and pieces, and I'm trying to put it all together. Okay? And so I want to go over a few things with you and make sure that some of this is being pulled together. Okay? Make sure that some of this is feeling like it connects and feeling like this, that you can connect this to him. Okay? And when I mentioned before his passing, in my feeling of this quick passing, does that make sense to you? That it happened really quickly?
Very much.
And that nobody really knew that it was going to happen? Okay? And because I know that I have him here. I know, I'm just trying to pull these little pieces together. Okay? Okay. That he was, okay. Feels like it happened and there's nothing anyone could have done. I mean, as terrible, as hard as it sounds like this was just his time, okay? It was his time.
Does he know that?
He knows that now. Yeah, he knows that. He knows that. My question here, and I'm being really careful with this, because he keeps showing me his hands, okay, over and over again. And usually that's a symbol to me when they feel like this is where my confusion comes in, because he's making it so clear that I didn't see this coming, no one saw this coming. It just happened, And so please don't take this the wrong way, but could there have been anything that he had done to lead up to his time of passing? Okay, because he's showing me his hands and he's taking some responsibility. Whenever I see the hands, that means I'm partly responsible for what happened here, okay? And so he's making that very clear.
He accepts that.
He accepts that. He accepts that. And that's something he absolutely wants you to know. Yeah, that he accepts this, and that this really was his time. It was his time. And I know that's hard to hear, and that's why I just keep, telling him, just tell me everything you can, because this is a really important area that I don't want to get wrong, okay? He accepts that. He was pulling me backwards, and this took me a while to put together, but he was pulling me backwards in a sense. I knew that his passing was quickly, but he was making me feel like this was kind of coming for a bit, okay? So I feel like in his own process there was something, it was coming. But he wants you to know that when it happened, that, I just want to be sure I get this really clear for you. He's, first of all, I want to say that he was pulling, boy, he's pulling me to you with so much love and so much like, I had such a great life, you know, I have all these great memories, I have all of this, I have, you know, she's my mom, and she's, you know, and so I can't tell you how much he keeps saying this over and over again, okay? And so in the meantime, I'm trying to piece his story together as well. And so what he's sharing with me is how important that is that you know that, and that this had nothing to do with you. His passing had nothing to do with you and his relationship. He was letting me know that it was coming. It was coming. No one saw it, you know, knew that it was going to happen, but it was coming. And even when it did happen, you know, he was even, let me just say that he was not in his right mind frame, okay? And so, in part of the way he's saying, you know, yes, I take responsibility for this, but the word accident was coming up around it as well, okay? So I feel like there's this half and half where there were actions leading up to it, and he didn't know in that moment that it was actually going to take his life, okay? And when that happened, he immediately knew, I get it now, I get it. You know, so he crossed right away and went, I get it. Okay, this was my time, this was going to happen. And what comes up around this and what he was trying to explain to me was the fact that he was having a hard time holding himself here. I don't know how to say it. I mean, he comes through full of life, I have to say, and he's fun and he's funny, and he seems like, he told me I connected with this person and that person and that person. It seems like everyone liked him, you know, and he enjoyed having a good time in life. And so he has this great energy that no one would have really known that he had his struggles, okay? And he did, he had his struggles. And it had nothing to do with, this is just where it was him, you know, it was where he was at. But it didn't have anything to do with anybody else, okay? And please let me know if this isn't, you know, connecting with you, okay? Okay, this is very important that this is right. So when I first connected with him, he was coming through with much love, but he was coming through with the I'm sorry's as well. So it took me a while to start getting his story, but now I see why he was saying that, okay? So apologies, because he feels very, very close and connected with you. I mean, he has really great memories with you. So, there's no, it just feels like this was a struggle that he was having. And he needs to continue and grow and do the things that he wants to do on the other side. And he feels like he can help you more from the other side. He feels like he can be the person he needs to be and still be with you, you know, on the other side. May sound a little odd, I know, but just in the back of your mind, keep birds in mind, and specifically hawks, which is going to sound funny right now.
Not at all.
Okay, because he's mentioning that to me, and he wants you to know that. Okay. He's very connected with you. Yeah, he loves you very much, and he's telling me that, and that's where the travel was coming in. All these little different bits and pieces. There's a sense of I can do what I want to do. I'm free to do what I want to do now. I can be anywhere I can be anywhere at any time, and that's what he's choosing to do right now. Is this travel, which which is wonderful. There's lots of apologies. You were there with him, and I know I've said this before, but if anyone, and maybe that hasn't come up yet, but if anyone is struggling with the idea that they weren't there when it happened, or they couldn't do anything to help, that they need not to hold that, not to take in that, okay? But
Can I ask a
oh,
question?
okay, you jump in any time. Yeah,
His daughter.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He left a daughter.
He left a daughter. very much watching over her and this decision of what to tell her and how to explain this to her. You know, he's letting me, he's watching the process, you know, of how you, hold on 1 second here, I just felt him really strong. Okay. He is watching over her. Hang on 1 second. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, he is watching over her. He is always going to continue watching over her, which I'm sure you know that. But there's a sense of feeling, is she, okay. He really, okay. Well, he really wants her to be with you quite a bit, okay? I don't know if that makes sense right now, but he keeps pulling me there to how important it is that you have a lot of time with her. And he's tugged here because he's with his daughter, you know? And he's tugged here as far as, you know, he keeps saying it. He keeps saying it. He really wants her to be with you. He really wants her to be with you. And there's this tugging feeling because that's work and responsibility, and I know that. But he really wants you to spend as much time as you can with her. For some reason, it feels very important that you kind of continue this relationship, but even be more involved, you know? I mean, there's something about this that feels a little different, I have to say, okay? More involved than just, you know, someone in the back, you know, a grandparent that just stays connected. He would love to see you spending a lot of time with her, you know? She's gonna be, she's gonna be fine. He's showing her to me. She's pretty young, is that right? Is she pretty young? Okay, okay, yeah. And you know what is, she's so young, so I don't know if, you know, if she's able to express this, but he's also telling me that I'm coming to her in dreams. I've never left her. I mean, his heart is really there. I mean, he loves, you know, his little girl. So, so he's coming to her, he's having these experiences with her. He wants her to always have his picture, okay? And be sure that she has the picture, and because somehow she recognizes the picture, and that's her dad, okay? And that's gonna be really important to her, okay? And he hopes that people keep his legacy alive, and he expected, again, he had his struggles, and that's what happened here. But he really planned on being here for his daughter and watching her go through all of the steps in life. He had no, you know, it's hard to explain, but it's like his thought process was never to leave this earth, okay? But it was just a struggle that he couldn't overcome. It would just come up. He could, you know, it was okay for a while, and then it would come up, okay? But when he connects to her, he is hoping that everyone focuses on his legacy here, and all the good things he did, and how much he loved her, and all of that, okay? And I know this is very vague, and maybe she's too young, I don't know, but he's talking about a bike, okay? So, and he keeps talking about a bike and asking me to ask you about the bike.
I know about the bike.
Okay.
And she does too.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. He feels this connection.
Yeah.
With you. There's this connection. Yeah. And he's going to continue. He has a really strong, vibrant personality, okay? And so he's going to make sure that he stays connected with you in every way possible. He's going to leave you signs where you go, there's no doubt, you know? That was him.
He already has.
Okay. And that's going to, yeah, that is going to continue. He's going to continue coming to you in dreams. He told me that. He's going to continue, because that's when you can really speak to each other. And he's going to continue this relationship. He doesn't want things to end. He wants it to continue. Let me focus and just, you can jump in any time and ask any questions or guide in any direction you want to go.
Has he seen his father?
Yeah, he has. Yes. Okay. Is his father with him? Does that make sense to you? That he would be with him? And his father passed before him? Okay. Because, okay. Yes, he's seen his father, he's with his father. He let me know that he was there. When he crossed, his father was there for him. So, yes. Yeah. And what's interesting too is he's showing me that they're connected, they're together, and please let me know if I'm not getting this right, okay? Forgive me if I'm not wrong, but they feel like we're connected, we're having fun, we're together, okay? And I'm sure they were in life, and I'm sure they were bonded, but did they have different personalities, or were there any struggles between them?
He just left early.
He just left early. Okay, there was this little distance. Okay.
He missed his dad.
He missed his dad. Yeah. You know, yeah, they're bonded. They're together. They're together on the other side. Absolutely. But there is this. I'm going to tell you too, and I didn't feel it enough to pull it in, but from the beginning, I felt this. I felt an older male energy kind of in the background, you know? And so, but I didn't, and my thought went to father figure, but I just didn't have anything to base that on. I couldn't pull anything else in, so I left it alone. So he's definitely with his dad. Yeah, definitely.
What are they doing?
I know, that's the funniest part, is because, you know, I'm just seeing them and hearing them, really. I'm just hearing him saying, yeah, that they're together, they're having fun, they're, you know, they're reunited, you know? And so I'm just going to sit here and ask him, he's just saying that he missed the distance with his dad. So he was here, his dad had passed, and there was some struggles there with that, okay? There was some distance between them and some struggle with him being gone. Yeah, big time. So he missed his dad, yeah. They're together. Well, the first thing that they came across was that they're going to games, they're eating, they're just spending time together. They eat there. They do. That's what they're showing me, and I've had others say that too. We're eating hot dogs, we're going to games, we're doing things we didn't have a chance to do when we were together here. Almost like catching up on old times. And what's interesting to me is how much it seems like they can do what they did here in life, you know, and enjoy it. You know, it's fascinating to me. I don't quite understand how that works, you know, but how they can continue on doing the same things. They always tell me that we are a carbon copy of the real thing. So they have their house there, you know, the house that you guys raised him in, you know what I mean, the house that he grew up in. They have everything there. And so everything we have here is a carbon copy.
Do they miss us?
Here's the interesting thing. That's a really great question, because they love us beyond love that you can feel here, okay? They never mention missing us, because they never feel like they've left us. They still have that same connection to us, even stronger. So, and that's a part of being in the light, you know, being in enlightenment, is they have that spirit to spirit connection, and they actually feel more connected to us than ever before, and that's hard for us to imagine. And so that's really my job and my drive here, is to have people really learn how to communicate with them correctly, so they start feeling that same connection, because it really is a spirit connection. It really is. And so...
Do they miss us like we miss them? No, because they are with us.
They are with us all the time.
So they're not missing us.
They're not missing us in the same way we are.
Do they see us missing them?
Yes. And he was talking about that as well. Mm-hmm. He was talking about his sorries were all around, all of the grief and everything that you were going through during his time of passing. I can't tell you how much stronger that came through, especially right around his time of passing. Everything that
I do have a question.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
you're very right on. My son overdosed, and the paramedics brought him back. When did he leave? Because they brought him back. He was in intensive care for 5 days.
okay.
Was he watching us?
Absolutely.
Was he gone?
Yeah, he was watching you. He was watching
He was
you.
gone.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't, his
Yeah.
brain had no oxygen.
Yeah, he was watching you. Yeah, he was gone.
They kept him alive,
Yeah.
and so he was gone.
So,
They brought him back.
yeah. So it sounds
They
like...
brought his body back, not. Do they come back into their body when that happens?
When that happens, maybe for brief seconds here and there. It's all a real individual process. And I'll tell you his process, and he made it really clear to me that he was gone. He knew that this was, he knew he needed to go at this time. He knew. He crossed very fast, he's letting me know. He crossed fast. So he pulls me to you and him and the home, I believe, you know, and and he pulls me to, this was my time of crossing. That's what he showed me. Here in the house, this is my time of crossing. So when he was, you know, brought back, it was his body.
Right.
Yeah. And he showed me that he had moments where he slipped in, moments where he jumped back in, but he couldn't do it. It just was his time. It was his time. So, yeah, it was his time to go.
Why so
He
young?
just couldn't stay. That's the hardest part for us. It's the hardest part. And so much life ahead of him, and he had so much going on for himself too. I mean, he had this whole other side of him, and then he had his struggles, you know. I'll tell you, he really felt as if, like I said, he had a lot of great things going on for him, but being on the other side, I know this is different, because this is what happens, this is part of the enlightenment on the other side that we just don't have here, but he told me that he crossed so fast, and he said that once he did, he knew that this was his time. He knew that he took on too much here in life, and that he just couldn't accomplish it. He couldn't get through it here. He needed to leave and do it in spirit. He needed to do it in an environment that is supporting and loving, and that's all that you feel on the other side. He had, every time I focus on him, I feel it all right in here, the lungs, the grief. So he had a lot of grief he was dealing with.
You know, now that you mention it, he had a collapsed lung years ago.
Okay.
And he had respiratory problems, so that's it. I couldn't remember that until you just said that.
Yeah.
He had issues with breathing in his lungs, and he had an ulcer in his stomach so he had internal things that were really bothering him.
Yeah.
That he didn't tell anybody.
Yes.
That he didn't even really understand. You were right in the beginning, and
it happens all the time. I always tell people that whatever I say if it doesn't feel like it's fitting, just keep it in the back of your mind. Because I think at some point it'll kind of come together.
So I do have a question.
Yes.
I lost a girl when she was 6 months in my stomach. Mm-hmm. Is that his sister?
Yeah, that's his sister. And that's where I was getting confused in the beginning.
So even though she didn't survive and come into the world, her spirit is still...
Absolutely. Her spirit stayed on the other side and continued to grow on the other side and is still connected to you as family, your soul family. So when your time comes to cross, you'll have your husband, you'll have your son, you'll have your daughter there. And I couldn't get past it. It kind of brings tears to my eyes because I knew and I thought, I don't know how to connect her with this, but I can't tell you how strongly she was talking first. She started talking for him.
And do you see her? Do you know what age she is?
I do. Gosh, you know what? I would say right now, she looks, I want to put her in her 20s. I mean, she looks pretty young. She looks pretty young.
So when my son, he was 28, so when he's there, does he stay there as that? And my husband was early 50s.
Yes.
So does he revert back when he was healthy, or is he up there looking like he looked when he was 50? I'm really confused with that.
I know. This is all very,
Or does he look like?
Honestly, I'll tell you what they tend to do, is they tend to actually want to come through looking a little younger than they were in life, and very vibrant looking, like their skin looks amazing, and they're glowing, and they look happy, and it's just amazing, but they usually look a little bit younger. They tend to be a little bit younger than their age.
Do they have the actual physical form that they had here? Their looks, so when we cross over and we see our loved ones, they look like they looked here?
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why they will stay in that form. When it's your time to come, you're going to recognize them, just as you remembered them. Now, he may look to you, the only difference, possibly, he'll either look exactly like himself, or he may look 5-10 years younger. Like you'll remember him, okay, that's what he looked like,
When things were right.
Exactly. They tend to go back to their time in life when they were the happiest, healthiest, things were flowing for them. They tend to have that look. So if he knows you would recognize him like that, then he would probably,
And so my daughter, she's growing up there. Will she stop growing in a period of time? By the time I get there, will she be in her 40s, or will she stop when she feels like stopping?
You know what? I think she's going to continue to grow on. I think she is with your son. Yeah, I think they're going to continue growing on the other side. And then, here's what's interesting, is you'll recognize your son right off the bat, because he'll show himself to you as you remembered him, here at this point in time. She, even though you would think it would be difficult for you to recognize her, because here she was a baby in your stomach, and how are you going to recognize her? You will know the instant you see her that that's your daughter. You will know. You will know the instant. Yeah. And, I love this part of it, because I love the part where I knew there was some connection here. I knew we had it felt like a real brother and sister connection. I mean, there was just, they were intertwined, you know? They were just intertwined. And so I knew that they were connected, but I thought, how do I explain this to you? Because here's this girl, and she's talking away. And she started talking before he did. And I said, I feel like the male has passed, but there's this other female in spirit. And yeah, and so they are together. And she just started speaking for him, you know. And she's also very full of life. She's very, very smart, very sharp-witted, very funny. But she comes through like assertive in a sweet manner. I don't know how else to word it, just a very sweet energy. But she's saying, okay, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. I'm going to show you the picture. She was the one that wanted to organize everything and talk first. And
she's been there.
She's been there, yeah. And she was there waiting for him. So, so you have your whole family there, yeah.
Minus one.
Minus one here.
And me.
Yeah.
So the bike, I'm just going to tell you.
Oh, I'd love to hear the story of the bike.
So his daughter is 2, almost 3, and I have a little red radio flyer that I had gotten.
Oh.
She climbed on it, and he said, no, you're too young, you need a helmet. And he put it up on, I have a built-up high part in my yard, and he put it up there, and it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And it means a lot to me and to my other son, because we know he placed it there. And when he passed, because he was living with me because of problems with the mother, because of his problems with drugs, it didn't work out. And so she would come, and so we didn't have her there. The mom and I have a relationship, and I do have a lot of time with this little girl. I had her all night yesterday, and I am going to be part of her life. But when she first came back to our house, we wanted her to just not, we had to make some changes. Mm-hmm. And she saw the bike, and she said, my daddy put that there.
Oh, wow.
So the bike is really, and anytime I see a hawk, for years I thought it was my husband. And the other day when I was driving, there was a hawk up on, and I'm very aware of them. And I look at them, and I have a strong connection to them, and there was a hawk, and I ran an errand, and I came back maybe an hour later, and the hawk was still there, at the same spot.
Yeah.
So, and I was very aware of it, and so, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. You're welcome. I love it. I love connecting. Thank you for letting me be a part of this. I love connecting.
I miss him terribly, and I don't know how I can stop that, though.
I know. That's the hardest part for us here.
I'm mad at him for doing it, but I too knew it was his time because he was struggling. You were so right on.
Okay.
So it's me. It's just me that has to work with me, but I miss him.
To work through it. And what I really suggest too is to absolutely, I know you already are, but keep that door open, because that now is going to be the hardest, most painful time, you know.
And it did happen in September.
It did happen in September. Okay.
September 11th is the day they took him off, but it happened September. Next weekend is the 6-month anniversary.
Okay.
And they're really hard on me. I have a lot of guilt.
That's what he doesn't want you to have. That came through so loud and clear. You know, he doesn't want you to have that. There's nothing you could have done to change these circumstances.
I kind of tried.
Yeah.
I tried really hard.
Yeah. No, he feels terrible for putting you through this. You know, terrible. Yeah, for having to put you through this. Another tragedy. You know, you had your husband, and you have your daughter on the other side, and now him, and I know that he feels terrible about it.
Do we know how long we're going to be here?
Oh.
No, I mean...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Before I get to go.
No. Unfortunately,
no.
I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to know. They always say to me, very soon. And I took that literally as a young child. I took it literally. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm going any day now. And then I realized it's because, and here's something also really difficult for us to connect with, is time moves so fast for them that soon could mean 50 years, you know? Time travels fast for them. So when you cross over and they meet with you, they're not gonna feel like they missed a day with you. That's what's hard for us here. I mean, here we just long for them and mourn them and every day. They're not even gonna feel like we never left each other. So, no, I can't they don't tell me, you know, how long we're gonna be here. I think that would impede on our own growth here. And I know that they do have limits to what they can tell us.
I have one more question.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, I forgot what it was. Why are we here?
I know. I wonder that myself. Like, why do we go through all of this? Just to, and everything I've always been told is like, this is school for us. This is the hard area to come to learn quickly. So apparently we come here.
We choose to come.
We choose to come here. We choose to come here to learn, you know, to learn things in a more difficult environment because we learn faster through negative experiences, which sounds terrible.
Yes, it does.
It sounds terrible. And so it's for our own spiritual growth. When we say, oh yeah, it's kind of that idea of saying, okay, now, you know, it's kind of the idea of saying, okay, now I'm out of high school. Not only do I want to go to college, but I want to get my master's degree. So I'm going to come into life so I can do that a lot faster and get there and get that done. And that's what we do here. And it's...
and reincarnation.
And reincarnation, I have to say, even though in my religion I wasn't brought up to believe in it, okay, and understand it. It was something that was not natural. But since I was a child, they come through telling me that we've been together for lifetimes. I've always heard lifetimes.
But we're in different forms and different faces, so it's something we just don't really understand until we go back there.
Exactly. I just call it soul circles.
And then do we decide when we're done and we don't want to come back here?
We do.
Good.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I'm done.
We've learned enough. Yeah, yeah. But your son is a perfect example of someone who said, oh, I've got a lot I'm going to go for it. You know, because before he came into this world, he was in a perfect environment. And so he's planning what he wanted to come in here and do in a perfect environment, not feeling all the feelings that are going to, be put on him trying to get through this world.
Right. And so he wants to come back.
Yeah, and then it was his spirit. So that's what's hard to explain, is his spirit, even though his mind is saying, I want to be here. I've got my family here. I have my daughter. I have, I want to be here. But his spirit is saying, you've got to go. This is too hard on you. You took on too much. You took on too much. And they lovingly take us back home, because once we realize that we're really struggling in growing here and we're not going to reach our goal here, we have to go. Yeah, it's time for us to go in a loving way so we can continue on, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to continue learning on the other side. Yeah.
And those that are here.
This is a hard place. I know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Joanne. Yeah.
And I don't know that I will
welcome.
not stop missing him.
Oh, I know. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, I won't.
Just keep the door open to the communication, because as time goes
That
on,
hurts, because
it's too hard right now.
it is, because you have a dream, but they're not walking with you. And
I know.
it's just,
I know. I know. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry. But he's
he's with his dad,
with his dad.
but he's not with his daughter. And it's so hard for me to look at her and know that she's going to grow up. But I also say that if he wasn't, his addiction was not very long. He was a great kid, a great.
Oh yeah.
I don't know even why he did it, but I guess he did it because he wanted to leave, like you said.
Yeah.
He pre-planned it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
But yeah, and that's what happens. And all we can do is to make the best of it while we're here. And just try and grow, from this and learn why. I don't know. It's hard to make any sense of it. I know. I wish I had more words of wisdom around that. But that's, we just have to continue on here and continue growing, and at least keeping his legacy in mind, and teaching his daughter about him, and all the good that he did here. And that's the best thing that we can do, and it really does seem to help us as well. And until our time comes and we can all be together again. Yeah. And with your daughter. Wow, wow, yeah. Well, she's, yeah, wow. Wait, yeah, just so you know that, yeah, you're gonna be reuniting with her too, which is gonna be amazing. And just keep her in your thoughts as well.
I will.
She's there and living strong and well and still connected to your family. Still have that soul connection to each other. Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome, Joanne, I'm sure. Thank you so much for coming in
Oh, bless you.
and doing this. I was so looking forward to it. Yeah.